back with another episode of Politics and Black Families. I'm here with my guest, Juan Mendoza.
Hey, how you doing, everybody? It's great to be here. Rafael, thanks for inviting me to have a great conversation today.
Always, brother, always. You got a busy schedule, very busy man. You were busy before you even considered politics. But tell me, why did you want to run for district? What district? No, you at-large seat.
It's an at-large seat.
At-large seat.
Yeah,
Tell me about that.
at-large means citywide. So it's post one at-large with citywide. And so to give a little bit of information, on the ballot, you'll have your mayor, you'll have council president, and you'll have your district council member, which Atlanta has 12 districts. Then Atlanta also has 3 at-large council members that get to represent the entire city. So no matter where you live, you get to vote for these 3 council members, and that's post 1, post 2, post 3, and again, I'm post 1.
Yeah. So why did you decide to run?
So I decided to run. Look, this country, and especially Atlanta, needs real bold leadership right now. Leadership that's going to fight for change. Now, as I mentioned, this is a citywide seat. So this offers the opportunity to go fight for citywide change, not just for one neighborhood, to really provide an opportunity to fix and address a lot of the challenges we have as a city as a whole. To do that. Now, I want to leverage this seat so that we can create legislative and budget policies that help grow this city into a world-class, equitable city. And that's what I'm more excited than anything to do, is provided to really fight for that community, working people, and small businesses of Atlanta. Now, I've been fighting for Atlanta in many ways, as you mentioned, very busy, whether it's community organizing, whether it's leading nonprofits, economic development, and what finally pushed me to run, outside of people reaching out and saying, hey, we could really use you advocating for us, is that frustration that came with it, right? So one of the things I do is lead the 04th Ward Business Association, which also supports Sweet Auburn, right? And you can kick and scream as much as you want as a neighborhood leader, but it truly is very limited. And that was what's going to give us the access to resources to really make some change. It's going to be able to do that through the most impactful way, and it's Atlanta City Council.
Indeed. Thank you for sharing that. But let's tap into your background, because you really are busy as an individual. You have a wide range of experiences. Let's summarize how your personal story kind of connects to this political story. Like, let's talk about your background a little bit.
Yeah, I love you. Well, I like to start on kind of what makes me, right? And that's coming from a working family background. That's coming from first generation background, being born to immigrant parents, Mexican American. And so that drives, right? I know what it's like to be in a working family with limited resources, understanding how the system isn't set up the way to really empower, the individuals that make up this country and this city to do that. So I grew up in South Bend, Indiana. I've been in Atlanta for 13 years, shut down right after college and went to Indiana University. And I've been in banking since then. So right now I do commercial lending for Ameris Bank. And I've gone to University of Georgia's Executive Banking School program. So that gives me a strong financial, business, and banking background. You couple that with the leading nonprofit, and again, leading the 04th Ward Business Association, which you think about is Pot City Market, the East Side Beltline,
all the areas we
King
love.
Center, right? And so a lot of that leadership has been in there, right? And so when you think about those communities, you also have to think Juan's been in there, rolling his sleeves up and helping grow those communities to do that, right? Now, another thing that I do, and we can get, is again leading different nonprofits, whether it's being an entrepreneur development chair for Hispanic young professionals, whether it's being in programs for Partnership for Southern Equity, Development Watch Academy, so Latinx Alliance, and again, that's a coalition of Latino leaders that have come together, and we go across the state. So again, my work ranges from, it can be neighborhood focused, it can be state focused, it can be providing access to capital through banking to small to mid-sized minority-owned businesses across the city. It can be going across the state advocating for different communities. And so that's a wide range of my background. But I always try to say it's a working person. It's someone who's had to fight to get to where they're at and can truly understand what the people of this city need right now.
Seems like you understand the people as well. Seems like you have a very good gauge of the people. And I think I always tell people, the more you explore, you talk to different folks, and you really just engage with people, you understand how much we have in common, right? Like, and I said that from an inner city kid, right? When I go to like these rural areas or just travel, like I was telling our last guest, when I was in Europe, and I was just realizing like we got so much in common, you know. And I think if we do more of this, we see how we can really work across seats,
Yeah.
right, and getting these problems solved. I'm gonna move on to the next question, and it's in Atlanta, we see, as I call it, gains and deficits, right? What do you see? Okay, Atlanta's doing great, and then what do you see? We need some improvement.
Yeah. I think you focus on the geographical areas of the city, right? I think there's a geographical trend of Atlanta that you can look at and follow a lot of different trends, right? So north and east, we've got amazing growth development, right? Again, you think of downtown, Old Fourth Ward, Mount Paran, Buckhead, all of these cities, Grant Park, right? North and east, we're doing a great job of growing those areas into thriving, not equitable, but into thriving areas that all the areas, like you said, that we love. In those areas, more people own homes. The homes that they own are worth more. Education rates are higher. Communities are safer. And the stark, dark statistic, people are living 20 years more compared to the South and West. And so as a city, what I'm really trying to bring awareness to is we have almost this tale of two cities, if you will.
How did it get there?
Well, I think it's a secret. Atlanta has a very dark history, right? Our legislators use policies and infrastructure to segregate more than integrate.
Like redlining?
It could be redlining. It could be what we're doing now on a smaller level, but we're not prioritizing investing transportation resources, right? Infrastructure resources, making sure schools, access to fresh food, all of that are in these communities. Right now, before it was real intentional, right? In terms of we're not really going to put any dollars into here, right? Now, what we need to do better on is making sure that we put more dollars, more prioritization, so that we can get these areas of the city just as thriving as the other ones. And then you have this amazing, great, equitable, thriving city.
Yeah.
And now we're world class. Atlanta, the one that we all know we can be.
Yeah, indeed. I like how you how you put that. I guess my question is when I see the differences, because I live on the west side. So homes on the west side of my neighborhood, this is a house that just sold for $1 million. Right, and I've been in this on the west side maybe 15, 16 years now, so I've watched it all happen.
Yep.
And it really does break my heart. It's like bittersweet, right? Like it needs, you have to have this economic development, and you have to have a push over it. You have to. I don't know how you get it done without it. But when you see people get left behind, and I'm seeing what's happening on the Beltline, and I'm seeing White Street, and I'm like, wow. But I've seen all these families get moved out. Like they never got to enjoy this, and they stayed over there hopeful. What does that look like moving forward?
You hit it right, now on the head right there, man. Yeah. It's the development's coming, right? The investment's coming, but it's making sure it comes in an equitable way. Yeah. And so that's making sure when it comes to the units that are being built, the housing that's coming to be built with the density that's coming to those areas, to make sure that we have policies in place to advocate for true affordability, so that the individuals that currently live in there with their current income can still afford those units. And what that looks like is requiring deeper AMI, right? Right now, everybody likes to use 80%, but
explain to them what AMI is.
Yeah, thank you. So AMI is area median income. And essentially, when it comes to housing affordability and developments, a standard is using 80% AMI. So that's saying that there will be some units that the property owner can charge at market, so full capacity, top dollar. And then in that same property, there will be a mix of units that cost less. And so we call those affordable units. Now, the challenge right now is if you do 80% AMI, let's say in Old Fourth Ward, 80% AMI in Old Fourth Ward is still pretty high. Yeah. So then you have to question, is someone that works in service, can they afford to live in 04th Ward?
Understood.
Right, because their incomes are lower. And so you fix that by saying, okay, well, some of those units need to be 30% AMI, so that the individual that does work in service or does work, at some
can still fit.
workforce can still live in those communities as they're thriving. And so 04th Ward, we didn't get in front of that, right? And that's where you saw it just happened so quickly.
Yeah, man.
But for me, and again, this is where that experience comes from this community, saying this is how we could have prevented a lot of Black residents being displaced, is by making sure that the housing is affordable, that these communities have access to transit to connect them to higher paying jobs, to be able to afford higher places, places that charge higher rent, right? And so that's how you make sure that people have access to the fresh food. Exactly.
Through the system, the
system. But that's how you make sure that you're not pushing people. Otherwise, you come in, you build some apartments, and you can charge top dollar. The individual, again, that was living there, their income hasn't changed. Now we have to fix that economic mobility through different ways, but in this scenario, their income hasn't changed, and now you're asking them to pay something that's completely unaffordable.
$3,200
so we
a
have
month
to use. That's what I mean by legislative policies that's going to advocate for actual real change. Working people, for communities that aren't able to get in front of.
Hold on. Do you think when you say legislative policy, do you think the legislative folks at the state do you think that representation is a representation of the city? Like, we're a very multicultural city, right? Blacks, Latinos, whites, and we're very multicultural. But when you look at the state house, most times you don't see that same representation. Do you think that is a big issue, that we don't have that representation? Like Latino families, Black families. Like, is it there?
I think it all starts with why people fight for representation, right? I mean, if you look at my case, I'm the first person that looks like me to put themselves on the ballot, right, in Atlanta in 2025. And a lot of that is fighting for representation, right? And that's getting someone on council. Again, when you talk about getting, and this goes for any race, when you talk about putting legislators in that seat, it's making sure that they have the perspective to be able to vote and understand why they're voting in a way that impacts you, right? And for me, that is being a working person, being an immigrant background, being a hard worker. It's being 33, living in Atlanta, which is Atlanta's average age is 33, 34. So we're young. So when I say that, that is what we're missing in representation. And a lot of that goes back to what you are trying to educate. And I think the movement that your podcast is trying to address is educate yourself on voting. And that means researching the individual, look at the history of it, and figure out what it is that you want and what you need from a legislator. And if everybody does that, right, and enough of people who want to see what you need and want the vision for your community, that's where you come out together. You talk about, hey, we got to vote for Juan. He's advocating for better affordable housing. I can get around better. And that's how we do it, is you have to get people that have real perspective and understanding of your community and put them in that seat. And it can't be, it's tough, right? Because a lot of people, there's certain issues that get a lot of people like, that's the reason I vote for them. I'm not saying that's a wrong way, but you have to really look at the entire picture. I don't like what this person does on this, but there's 100 other things that I totally agree with. And
you got to be able to pick and choose your wins.
Absolutely.
And some of the things you may have to advocate harder for. Because to your point, sometimes it just haven't been brought to my attention. I don't know what to advocate for. I didn't know that was an issue. This is why it's important to invite these guys out to your homes, have dinner, help them raise a couple dollars, talk to them, get their perspective, because they work on the behalf of the constituents. So we got to know that. Now I'm going to get into a more technical question that you have a little bit more expertise than I do. Atlanta has like a budget gap of like 30%, right?
Correct.
And they're going to do 5% cuts across the board, right? It's important though, with those cuts, they're done the right way, right? Efficiently, focused. What does that look like for somebody with your expertise in like banking and just rearranging finances?
There shouldn't be cuts. If you manage a business, cash flow, finances efficiently, control revenue sources, manage expenses, manage debt, if you do all of that correctly, you don't have a cash flow shortage or a budget shortage, right? Now, I will tell you, if I'm saying, hey, our revenue sources, there's a big bucket that we have, but we're not getting enough of that filled up. And I'm referring to the commercial property taxes, right? Trophy commercial property taxes. I mean, billion dollar worth property investments, right? And so when I look at digging into the financials and I say, hey, we're losing out on about $500 million a year in revenue, which would fix the budget gap, which would mean we don't have to reduce shortages across all the departments, and actually means we now have money to address housing affordability, unsheltered challenges, infrastructure, to do that. So that for me looks like fighting for a process that properly evaluates, assesses, appraises these properties, and make sure that we're actually making sure that these individuals that invest in our community, and we very much appreciate for doing that, right? But it's also, if I'm paying my fair share of taxes and you're paying your fair share of taxes compared to what our income levels are and the amount of assets we have, then so should this individual as well. And so that looks like us digging into why are things being under-evaluated for that. And that's the instant revenue source I see there that's not being capitalized on and is not being, again, the bucket's not being filled completely by this revenue source.
Because it's something, because it doesn't add up a little bit, right? Meaning that the growth is too exponential at this point. Right, it's too much growth.
And we call that expanding your tax base, right? As the city grows, more people move in, more buildings get built. There's more people to tax.
Right.
Things are worth more.
And so it's supposed to show up in our life.
It's supposed to show up that the city is producing more revenue. And therefore supposed to be able to afford this growth. Now, affording this growth means being able to build infrastructure, being able to invest in transit, being able to afford in affordable developments, invest in parks, all that stuff that invest in public safety, all that stuff that goes into it. But when I look at why we're not have that surplus, it's because we're not, again, let's say you sell t-shirts in a business and you also sell stickers, right? We've got a revenue source, and let's say, your stickers are, selling a lot, but that increase in revenue is not coming, right? So you have to figure out, I'm selling a lot of these, but for some reason, it's not transitioning to profitability. Am I charging too much for them? Right? Do I have not my margins enough? So what I'm trying to refer to is, again, we're getting money from this revenue source from the commercial evaluations.
But not everything.
And not what we're actually
leaving too much on the table.
We're leaving way too much on the table. So it's showing up in the budget. It show up in the budget as
deficits.
So
we got to make up the cut.
And what happens is, you see what the county does and says we're going to raise taxes 12% on the working people versus going and figuring out. And that's for me is
what about somebody who might argue, well, we don't want to chase business away. We don't want them to think that Atlanta will be too hard on them. They want to keep it business friendly. That's the Georgia thing, right? How do you have that conversation, right? Because you need the commercial to come here. You need everybody to play fair, but that's not the case right now. So how do you like have that conversation? Like, how do you not chase the business away? Make them feel welcome.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's a great question, right? And it's tough to navigate, but you have to pick a way. And my way is to advocate for the working people and small businesses to do that. And I do think that Atlanta is a city that it is the place to invest in right now. And developers, businesses, corporations will figure out a way to do business in Atlanta because we are that city now, and it's understanding that and it's sticking our chest out and saying we're Atlanta, this is what it costs to do business in the city, while also saying we're building a city where these large corporations can have great places to live, their employees love the city that they live in, the communities they live in. So it's a partnership, right? They're investing in the community. They're bringing more opportunities to the city, and we are using their capacity to help us invest in the very same city that they're doing business in.
Good. Thank you for answering that question and being so thorough with it. I'm pretty sure my viewers are going to love it. I'm going to move on to the next question, then we're going to get into a little culture, right?
Okay.
So 10 years from now, I got two more questions, this one, another one. 10 years from now, when black families look at your leadership, what do you want them to say about your leadership?
I want them to really feel that I truly used this seat to invest in the communities and the challenges that their communities experience. To do that, that's what I really want to feel. He really came in, he really cared, he really tried, and he really helped change some things for the black community.
Your effort showed up in their life.
Yep.
We received that. The Black Family Hope. We listening now, right? We listening. Everybody listening. New revenue sources for the city is a big thing as well, right? I hear you championing that a lot. When we say new revenue sources, what are you thinking? Not like more tickets, more traffic tickets.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Well, one, right? One. When I spoke of one, which is making sure we're getting the property taxes from the trophy commercial buildings that are supposed to and help to do that, right?
Yeah.
Now you look at also making sure when vendors do business in the city, let's say like Waymo, right? They're piloting their cars, and it leads to some disruption.
Yeah.
Are we making sure that we're getting compensated as a city to say, hey, we're letting you pilot, we're letting you disrupt the city a little bit, and what is that compensation for the city so that we can invest it? Whether it's
Waymo's taking over these streets,
Lime, scooters, right? Making sure that individuals, again, that because they benefit by you paying, renting that bike, and then they get the revenue. But is the city getting some of that? You know, as well to go back into, or are we just letting Lime and Uber just get away with?
You know that leads me. Thank you for answering that, but that leads me to a two-part question. I know I said two questions.
No,
because Waymo's collecting a lot of data on these roads, right? They're collecting a lot of driving history, patterns, license plates, all these things. And my thing is, that deal needs to be a little bit more transparent. Not saying it's a good or bad deal, right? Because again, this is what the elected leaders are supposed to do. This is what you guys do. You work out the business on behalf of the constituents. But as far as the data part, I am very interested in what are they doing with this driving data, right?
Correct.
And is it going to show up on my insurance rates? Is it going to show up when it's a new traffic light? Is it going to show up when my license plate is available because it was some hack, right? Like that. That's very important to me, and I hope that when you get in the seat, you advocate for us guys who are talking about. They are taking over the streets, but the data part, I would like to get some clarity on.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a good segue into Atlanta is one of the most surveyed cities in the country, right?
Number 2, I think.
Right, and so exactly to your point, that's some of the stuff I'm saying is how are we making sure that these systems aren't used in a predatory way, in a prejudicial way? Who has access to these? Where is this information going?
What's the software like?
Audit, it's got to be transparent. You know, and to your point, and that's a lot of what I've been vocal about is transparency in government, whether it comes to technology, whether it comes to use of the funds, whether it comes to where the progress is on infrastructure projects, all of that. It comes back to being transparent and making sure that we understand why people, our legislators, our leaders are doing things for us.
Yeah, indeed.
And where are we on that?
Yeah, where are we on that? Because
Exactly.
I'm going to be honest, I woke up one day, I seen one car. Next day, I seen 3 cars. Next day, I see a whole, I'm like, hold on. Because then I even seen one having a malfunction again. This is not a swipe at Waymo. Like, this is happening. We're going to move it forward. AI innovation is happening. There's no way to run around it. This is a national agenda, so it has to happen. But we also, to your point, need the transparency, and we need to understand what's on our roads. Because it's not just Waymo, it's other cars now I'm starting to see. And it's like, we just got to do more of messaging to educate the constituents on what's going on. But I will move it forward, and we're going to jump into culture. So I'm going to jump right into it because you've been in Atlanta 13 years. You're from Indiana. But you're going to have to tell me your favorite Atlanta artist. Hip-hop.
Okay.
Say less. Your favorite trap star.
Future.
Ooh. Who's better, Gucci, Jeezy?
Man, I gotta go Gucci.
Favorite music venue in Atlanta?
Old Masquerade.
Best chicken spot in Atlanta? Wings. We talking about lemon pepper.
Man.
Don't say Magic City.
Oh, it's the classic, right?
Yeah.
It's the classic. JR?
There you go. That ain't bad. Best place to get 3 beef tacos.
Man, go to Comunidad Taqueria.
Oh, there we go. Drop the address one time.
It's in off North Highland.
Okay, perfect. Best place to patio hop with the margaritas. Because you know Atlanta, we love our patios.
Yeah. Real Tacos.
Tacos, I got you. Perfect age to get married.
Man, I'm figuring that one out.
Do you prefer online dating, in person?
In person for sure.
In person for sure. Favorite city to visit?
Favorite city to visit right now is going home, South Bend, Indiana.
Oh, I got you.
When I can, you know, just so like.
Yeah. Top 5 worst rappers of all time.
Man, no, man, I can't do that one.
So you ain't got 5 worst rappers of all time?
Man, that would take me a while.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn, you got 5?
What you got, Dan? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
See, that's the political answer.
Yeah, I hope it's fine. I let you live right there. If I ever invite you to my house on Thanksgiving, we all got to bring a dish. What dish are you gonna bring?
I'm gonna bring you. It's called Tres Leches for dessert.
Okay.
Just a Mexican type of cake.
Okay, receiving that. Okay. Yeah, I take that. I literally love my cakes. As you can see, I have I ain't missing no cakes. Favorite sneaker?
Man, favorite sneaker. Man, retros.
Retros.
Yeah, breads.
Yeah, I got you. I got 2 more for you. Favorite nightclub in Atlanta?
Favorite nightclub in Atlanta.
It could be big or small. It don't have to be one you had
Trying to think. I used to like Mansion Alon.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you took it back. A lot of people sleep on that spot. But, man, that spot right there used to be that used to be rocking right there. Mansion? Whoa. There's a lot of good nights at Mansion. It was a lot of good nights at Mansion. I'm telling you, it was a lot of good nights. All right, I'm gonna wrap it up. If you had to pick the movie that you had to be on an island with, that's it. One movie. You stuck on an island for life. What movie would it be?
Scarface.
Woo! And it's a bonus one. Which one is better? Life, the movie Life, or Boys in the Hood?
Boys in the Hood.
There you go. So I want you to look at that camera right there and let them know where to find you. Drop your links and everything like that.
Yeah. All right, everyone. Well, hopefully was able to get you some more insight into who I am as a person, why I'm fighting for Atlanta, why it's time to bring real change for working people, for small businesses, to make this a city that's equitable for all of our communities, including our Black and brown communities. We're truly in this fight together. Again, I'm running for Atlanta City Council, post 1 at large, citywide seat. So anywhere you are in this city, you're able to vote for me. You can get more information on my website at juanforatlanta.com, and I'm on Instagram at juanforatlanta. So again, thanks, and I look forward to representing you.
And there you go, another episode of Politics and Black Families. Peace.